after my first year, I go meet with this partner at Jones Day, and he's a real partner, not like a junior. I mean, he's a real guy. And during the interview, I don't know what to ask. So I said, what's the thing you're most proud of as a lawyer? Something like that. And he looks at me and he kind of takes it and he goes, great question. And then he starts describing this MDL, this multi-district litigation, where there were like defective hip implants. And he was able to get it like summary judgment out, right? And that was his biggest accomplishment. It's just like leaving people in a bunch of pain. And I was like, this is not what I'm doing. Like, I can't do that. There's no way. So I ended up hearing, somebody brought up this firm called Spangenberg, Shibley & Leiber up in Cleveland. And I didn't know anything about it, never heard of it. So, I had some, and I settled some for a decent value, but what I thought was decent at the time. And I had a trial coming up. And it was a elderly person. I think they were 84, stroke victim in the past. They had like left-sided weakness. They were rolled out of bed and they broke their hip, and they died from it, a month or so later. And so that was kind of a run-of-the-mill nursing home case. At the time, I was a little bit frustrated with my law firm, and they told me if you get to $250,000, you have to settle it. And I was just kind of like, at that point, I don't know if I knew I was leaving, but I kind of knew I was. And I was gambling with their money. So I remember texting them. I was like, hey, they offered $250 to take it. I was like, no. And then I was like, hey, they offered $500. They're like, you better take it. I was like, no. And this is during trial. And then I was like, they offered $1 million. And they're like, you better take it. I was like, no. So they were like, you better win. So I remember asking the jury, or we asked the jury for $10 million in the case, which was like ridiculous back then in Cleveland, Ohio, for a nursing home case in 2015 or whatever. The jury came back with $4.4 million. And I was like, wait, we've been settling these cases, $500,000 was considered a big case, a good result on those. And what I started realizing is not there's this lucrative field out here, but the way that we look at these people